guess who showed up this week? That they said they weren't going to be here this week. They prepared the audience, and then they've surprised them. You'll never guess. Yeah, plot twist. He's here. He's back. The YouTubes demand him, and he's here. And now he's gone silent.
Yeah, I have you. Keep your secret.
He's here, but he will not talk to you.
He will. Because he's played Destiny, like me. And
I
we
have
Destiny
played
stuff.
Destiny.
We've got stuff to talk about. So I'm going to roll that intro and we can come back and talk Destiny.
Hooray!
Welcome to the Two Titans and a Hunter Destiny 2 podcast, a show dedicated to bringing you the latest intel, the mightiest news, and the boldest opinions from the farthest reaches of the Sol system. Whether you're a bright-eyed new Guardian, fresh from the Cosmodrome, or a battle-hardened veteran of the Red War, this is your Destiny destination. We'll arm you with tips, tricks, and tower-worthy tools to help you triumph, thrive, and revel in the glory of the fight. So without further ado, let's get on with the show.
I don't remember what I played on Destiny. Who's going to expect me to remember? I don't remember again what I played.
Always a good thing.
You
did this last week. So yeah, I'm here, Nitedemon, Noble, and Peroty. We're all back to talk some Destiny. And Noble again has amnesia. Destiny amnesia, that's what we're going to call it. Because every week we play some Destiny and he goes, I don't know what we did.
I remember playing things. I like the fact I don't remember what I did because it means it wasn't much of a chore. Whatever it was, it obviously wasn't a chore.
We helped Feral, didn't we, this week?
Yeah.
No?
Yes. That silly mission, the Saudi one. Don't ask me its name because I don't remember.
The Saudi one?
Yeah, we did the Saudi mission, didn't we? The one for the lightsaber.
Sword, like SWORD. I heard a number of different words, and none of them was that word at first.
We did the exotic. Oh, my word! We did the exotic mission, the Fire and Ice, and we were doing the catalyst. He'd missed a couple of catalysts, and we went back through and did the catalyst. Yeah, that's what we would. That's what we did this week, and then we worked on our Guardian ranks. So I think we're all on rank 10 now, and we're working towards getting to rank 11.
Yep.
And we were all a bit confused, and it has been cleared up, which I will now clear up on the show for you now, Noble. So one of the Guardian ranks, again, was to kind of go through and do things like with all the different modifiers on and things. And we kind of done most of them. We put all the modifiers on and went off and did like a fire team thing to get all those boxes checked. And the only thing I think we've got outstanding now is to do all 6 Grandmasters from the Vanguard Alerts tab. So if you tab over, you have like 2 Expert, 2 Master, and then at the moment there's 2 Grandmasters. And we were discussing it, weren't we, all three of us? Like, well, I'm sure if we do those 2 Grandmasters, the other ones open up and then we get to do all the others. But no, we are wrong. And
Conquests.
Conquest, that's it. We're all wrong. Apparently, and I've had this confirmed by Blue Screen, that because we haven't got the second half of the Renegade season, 1, we don't get any extra nodes on our artifact, and 2, the other half of the Grandmasters don't open up until June. So nobody can get to rank 11 until they do the second half of the season with the major update. So we can do 2 Grandmasters, but they haven't updated.
That's beautiful. Just perfect all around. 10 out of 10.
And it wasn't until we were kind of like, well, let's do stuff together. As there's a team of like 3 of us, there are things that we can go off and do. And it's not normally anything that I was kind of thinking about, because in the normal rotation of things that we've had recently, with like the Edge of Fate, it just kind of came along naturally, and they opened those up, and then everybody was able to kind of do that. But because I think a lot of people have dropped off and the communication has kind of disappeared and nobody's really worried about doing their Vanguard ranks and things like that, it's not something that's kind of in your face. And Aztecross is making 6 videos on it, and Lucky 10p has gone off on a rant for like 100 videos. There's nobody kind of talking about this, and it's like, that is really frustrating. I mean, I'm not really worried about the extra nodes on the artifact, but it's such low hanging fruit, as Blue said. It's like, why don't they open these things so that people can go and play them? There's no consequence to them kind of opening up those extra grandmasters. And I think that is also the same thing with some of the stuff with the Renegades. I think what they were planning to do, from what I can remember, is when they said the major update was going to come in March, that would then open up another tier in like the Vanguard area, so that people would then start getting a lot more tier 5s to drop, rather than kind of every now and then at the moment playing those Renegades, Lawless Frontier stuff.
Yeah, that's wild. I was watching because Aztecross, of course, covered the TWAB, because there actually was a TWAB with real content in it this week, and I think he said he hadn't even touched the game in a month and a half, because it's just like, why? There's nothing there, and why? I mean, I just have to wonder, is like, could we not just push this stuff live? I mean, yeah, like, I'm sure there's a lot that has to happen to have this update ready, and it's not just like, oh, let me pull out those GMs and turn GM from off to on and push these live for us.
Yeah,
but it's just like, could we not have now that Marathon is up and launched, and the Cryo Archive or whatever that thing is available, and not that
people are happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, things seem to be. Things seem to be going well. I popped over to Twitch the other day, which I don't often look at. I just sort of have it up in the background while I work sometimes. And my entire previously Destiny 2 streamers were Marathon across the board. Yeah. So it's like good that the game is getting the game appears to be going well. People are enjoying it. But it's just like, we could now that things are good, could we not have a bone thrown to us sometime? Maybe in April, so as we're almost at the end of March now. Could we push this live a little sooner, or do we have to get to April and May
things
first?
That they could do, that they could open up and have people have access to if they're still here playing. It just doesn't make any sense about max. I know it's probably something that if people really cared about it, they'd get done maybe in like one play session of like 4 hours with their friends, and we'd get all 6 of them done. That's it, done and dusted kind of thing. But it is frustrating, and it wasn't until I was talking to Blue, and he was like, well, didn't you know that? I'm like, no, because it just opened up naturally. By the time I got to that point last season, they were there to be able to do. And I was like, I didn't do them. I didn't get to rank 11 last season because it was, again, there wasn't enough people around that wanted to do the Grandmaster alert things. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing with the whole game being reliant on the army of content creators to tell you literally anything happening with it. Is there is no one around unless you have a blue screen to ask. There's no way to come to this knowledge, which is super frustrating.
I think we would have found out if we would have continued to do the Grandmasters this week. It would have kind of been blocked, and then I probably would have gone away and had a look at it, and maybe somebody on a forum would have gone, you know what, this is really annoying. It's like,
there'll have been someone on Reddit that had been talking about it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. So then you have to go dig through Reddit and go, okay, who has the forbidden knowledge? Someone has the knowledge. Who are they? Where are they? How do I find them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the problems of, relying on the army of content creators in lieu of providing actual information that, I mean, if nothing else, do we not have someone just like glancing at Reddit or something? I'm not that I say anyone at Bungie should look at Reddit ever, because no, with the way people treat them, but like, can we not have someone at least semi in charge of like going, hey, can we set up something to say, hey, what are people asking about? What are things that people seem to be struggling with, and just hey, maybe throw that into the TWAB. Go, hey, we know some of you have noticed this, and yes, we're aware, and it's coming, and da da da. Just, I don't know, a little acknowledgement, but again, that involves a community management team and people and time and things we aren't going to have right now. But yeah, it's just that's frustrating. I think I'm still a rank below you because I just haven't done like the Grandmaster stuff. Because again, I haven't been on, and I got on the other day and just sort of wasn't really sure. I was like, I've got some time. I sort of want to play. Then it was just like, but play what? I don't really know what I want to play. But then I got on this morning and had a really good time running through the Lost Frontier with my Warlock, just raining havoc down on things. So just depends. Ran and did a couple coil runs, and I don't know. The interest is definitely waxing and waning. Just the lack of people around makes a lot of the game inaccessible still.
Yeah.
It killed me last week when I was trying to just do anything, really, because I was like, I'm bored of running these little missions now, these little fire team ops missions, like the ones that are match made. I'm bored of doing these now, because that's how I've been leveling up, and there's been nobody about, just sitting and doing those. So I'm bored of doing these now. I'm going to have a look, something else, just throw me into a dungeon or something like that. And I just couldn't get into one. That was a killer for me. When you do have such a large part of your game that's just completely untouched. Nobody looking to do a dungeon at all anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's I popped into the Pinnacle list just to see, I was hoping there'd be something match made that I could do that wouldn't be a mission. It would be the Coil, or it would be Onslaught or something. I was hoping one of those would be up, and thankfully the Coil was. And I just looked into having a good group that knew what they were doing and, understood that lives are a thing. And
yeah. It's in some ways it's heartbreaking to see how dead it is, and it's got worse in the last 2 weeks. I think
it does come down to Bungie, to be honest, because you look at the amount of enthusiasm and attention to detail that they've put into Marathon, and the little things that they've managed to do. From what I've been listening to other shows and things, that they're hyped over this new map or something whatever it is. I think you mentioned it, Peroty.
Yeah, but the Cryo Archive unlockable thing with an ARG behind it and everything.
Yeah,
the good old days.
People are so hyped over this one thing, and it's generated so much kind of. I think people were saying just that one more game, and Destiny used to be that. Destiny used to have that feeling of I'll just play one more Crucible map. I'll just do one more mission. I will just do, and it seems to have lost that over time, and you can't quite put your finger on what it was, because I think it's multiple different things, and it's only for the older players that has happened, because there are new players coming in and finding all this wonderful stuff that you can kind of do, and all these wonderful places you can explore, and all these weapons and all this armor. So for new players, I don't think it's going to hit as hard as it's hit for the veteran players. But for the veteran players, because it's happened gradually over time, you can't quite put your finger on what exactly it was that's kind of missing. But listening to people raving about how good Marathon is, and just that excitement of just getting that one more game and that one more kind of, I just want to do this and I just want to do that. And it's that is, from what I can see, it's still a tiny game compared to what Destiny is. Destiny is this huge game with all these wondrous planets, all these wondrous dungeons and raids and strikes and PvP. And it's
this massive PvE experience you can have in all sorts of ways.
Yeah. Marathon looks like it, from what it sounds like, is that they're building that to be their kind of esports game, which is what they sort of wanted for Destiny in the first place. I remember them kind of doing a lot of, there was a Sparrow giveaway, and then there was all these kind of time trials on strikes and things like this when Destiny first launched, and they were so pushing it in that direction, and people were like, it's not that game. It's there are PvP elements, there are PvE elements that we can kind of, but because of all the different nuances in the game, you can't make this an esports shooter. And I think that they want that. They want something that's going to be that esports shooter that will bring people to Bungie and maybe kind of like Marathon, and then maybe kind of explore what Destiny is. But it's
I mean, and it does seem like they've learned from Destiny's sins. All the things we said about there's no dedicated servers. There's such a massive sandbox with all these supers and other elements. It made a competitive PvP landscape I'll say tricky at best to pull off. And Marathon has a dedicated servers. There's limited loadouts. Yeah, there's obviously it's still an extraction shooter. There's still things you can get, but you're not going to walk in with a super busted a super busted super.
Yeah,
you're not going to walk in with an exotic weapon from 8 years ago that is just wildly broken because of 8 years of patches, and then the exact right thing happened to make laser tag weekend happen. But it's been fun to see too. It's like them learning from that, and even just I saw someone, I think it was on TikTok, asked across basically clipping someone, basically figuring out you can. I guess there's some class where you can grab onto. I mean, I'll just say it. You can use your strand grapple ability to grab onto something moving and then fly along behind it. And it was that spliced with someone doing that exact thing in Destiny. It's like, well, of course they put that in. They built it. Strand is that mechanic. They built that in, and now it's just instead of green, it's now orange or whatever. And you can grapple on and fly behind something. So it's fun to see like bits of a game you recognize in another game. I still don't know if it's for me. Oh, Damon, I'll tell you, I saw a comment the other day that it's someone just said Marathon is just Gambit. You run around, there's some PvE, there's some PvP, you can go in with free kits, you don't have to make it a sweaty thing, you can play it like Gambit. And I was like, you make a good point. You make a real good point. Again, I still don't know if it's for me. Again, I'm not good at PvP games, so like
but if I lose all those motes in Gambit, Peroty, I'm not worried about losing all those motes in Gambit. I'm not going to cry over it, but I'd cry over losing my loot. I think that's one thing that I couldn't do because they're wiping people's vaults every season.
Right. Well, see, but that to me just says you could play this game and not have to get attached. You can play this game, I'll almost say casually and say, you don't have to get attached to that loot. It's going to, even if you put it in your vault and hold it forever, you're still going to lose it. So you know what? It's all ephemeral. It all comes and goes. There's a season for it. It goes away again. I'm like, you're making some good points. There could be an appeal here that I was not previously considering, but
yes,
I know
they have kind of learned from Destiny, like being able to kind of shift metas and like sunset gear quite regularly. If something is completely out of band, they can just go, well, we'll slowly kind of maybe tune that, and then we'll just get rid of it at the end of the season. We just won't bring it back. Where they have the choice of bringing weapons and armor and all these wonderful things back into other seasons and shifting it around, a bit like what Fortnite does with they'll bring back these classic weapons, and there'll be everybody be like, yay, this season's amazing because we got this and this back. And it's like, you can't do that with Destiny for the way that they've kind of built it, but they can do that with their new game. So there's a lot of things that they've kind of taken and they've learned again from Halo as well as Destiny, and they've put it into their very popular shooter.
Yeah. I'm again. I mean, we said before the game launched, like we as Destiny players and Destiny enjoyers want this game to do well because we want Bungie to do well. So I mean, it seems again, it's so hard to tell with the gaming media of like, the player counts are different. Oh, and this launch didn't have as many million people as they hoped, but it seems to be successful and it seems to have staying power. And I mean, again, looking at it again as a Destiny player and going, I don't, having Telesto in the game, breaking it in hilarious and weird ways every couple of months is, a problem where they were able to learn from and not make the same mistake twice. And having the loot be ephemeral, going, you can have this loot. And I think it would encourage you to go play with it. You've got this amazing loot, your gold backpack or whatever. I don't know. I know nothing. I've heard people say words, and I'm like, I don't know where this falls in the rank, but I'm assuming gold. Assuming basically follows the Destiny, trajectory of colors. But I've got my gold backpack. Well, I might as well use it because I'm going to lose it at the end of the season anyway. So if I lose it to a player or lose it to the game, either way, it's going to be gone. So I don't know. In a way that just feels freeing to me in a way that Destiny never was, because it's just like, well, I've got this and now I've got it forever. And and to your point of them bringing stuff back, because like my nephew goes nuts when they're bringing this thing from season 2 of Fortnite back, which is before some of us started playing, or I missed out on it that week it was up, and Destiny players are like, yay, they brought this hand cannon back for the 9th time, and I've got the other 8 versions of it. It's just a different experience when it's gone and comes back versus, it's no longer a reskin. Oh, they just reskinned it. Now they gave it to me again. Now it's like, oh no, I can go have this again. this thing I either missed out on or never had, missed out on either because I didn't play that week or I wasn't playing at all. Now it's a new thing for me to go get. It's interesting looking at it from that perspective of like all the problems we've had with Destiny and our complaints with Destiny, and them going, no, we're not doing this again. We've learned.
Yeah. I think it's quite sad. I think Noble's been pointing it out when it's not just the content creators that have kind of haven't been able to kind of do Destiny stuff. It's the actual people that have developed the apps and the websites as well. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it, that the D2 Foundry went down. It's still not back up, unfortunately. It was either feed the family or pay for the website.
From what I've read in the D2 Foundry Discord, it's not coming back.
It's such a shame. That's such a wonderful resource.
Such a great tool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then obviously this week there's been the announcement that
Braytech.
Braytech.
Yeah, again, I think what was the tweet you shared? It was either the servers or my tummy. It's like I either need to eat or because these are community projects. These are passion projects by people who have set out to make these amazing things for us as a community. Like this is not.
Yep.
It'd be nice if Bungie were throwing them a couple bucks and going at least hopping. If they've got a Patreon, hop on their Patreon at their highest tier. Throw them a couple bucks to keep this stuff running.
Yeah.
Like this is the lifeblood of your game. Like the day Dim goes offline, we're all done.
Yeah,
we're all through.
The thing is like they've relied so heavily for so long on these websites actually answering the questions because they don't answer any questions.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't give out any information. And now that they're losing them, what are you going to do when they've all gone? When none of them can no longer afford to feed their families, and you've got nobody telling us this information anymore because you've never done it.
And it would be hard for them to come back. It's not like the game's in a lull where they know that when and if they can come back, that they'll just be popular again and everything will kind of be up and running. It's like this may never come back. We may have just completely lost this and this.
Yeah, we may have just lost all these amazing tools. It is sad to think that we're losing these amazing tools.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a good reminder. I mean, I know. I've tried again over the years to toss a couple bucks their way to their coffees and their Patreons and stuff. But I've definitely, just the thousands of hours I've used these sites. I mean, I owe them a good chunk of my paycheck. Yeah, it's just a good reminder. All these things are passion projects by people who've taken their time and energy and effort to make this stuff for us, and it's all very fragile. But we'll see.
I mean, not to speak ill of you guys, but it is the same for you guys. Like you guys have been doing this for how many years now? You know what I mean? And like, you do different things. But the Patreon and coffee and everything else that you guys have got set up, you know what I mean, it helps fund everything that Demon has to pay for the editing and everything else, you know what I mean? Because like without it,
that's all right. I'd still just pay for it myself. But I appreciate it. I do appreciate that.
I'm trying to be nice here.
No, I know. But
we signed a contract until 2050 that we were going to keep doing the show. So
unfortunately, that was the responsibility. I took on. It's like I would just do it, and I will pay for the hosting, pay for this, do that. Yes, because it's passionate. I just love just helping people and getting the information out there. It's just like. I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't doing this and playing the game and having fun.
I'm still waiting for your new podcast to come out. Your proper Old Man Shouts at Cloud podcast. I'm so excited for that one.
But Old Man Shouting at Clouds is also old men can't be bothered to sit down on another day and record.
All we're going to do is sit and read Steam charts. That'll be the entire podcast. We're just going to look at Steam. We're just going to pull up the top 100 games on Steam and look at the player charts from week to week and say, oh, this game went up, this game went down. Just like people follow the. I don't know if there's a good. I don't know if there's a good analog to like the college basketball and college football over there. I mean, I assume it's just various levels of football, aka soccer for us, where it's like, oh, this team was ranked 8, now they're ranked 9. Basically, watching the tables going up and down. It's just gonna be that. It's gonna be the top 100 Steam games. Oh, Call of Duty dropped this week. Oh, Fortnite went back up. Oh, this game has dropped 2 spots. Oh, maybe people are tired of it.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
But yeah. I mean, honestly, that's part of I think why we've kept the show small and manageable. I mean, we're here every week talking nonsense about Destiny, week in and week out, with our rotating Noble, Donnie, and Renard, and Blue and Pan, whoever else we can
wrangle in.
Yeah, wrangle in wants to hang out and just talk some nonsense with us for a while. But I mean, that's why I've got a full-time job, Demon works, and also wrangle 17 children. So it's like we are, this is very much a passion project. But yeah, this is not our entire thing, and this is not it's something.
Yeah, I think it would be different.
It's also not why we're not doing 15 more things. Why there's not 6 podcasts and all this extra stuff with it is it's sustainable. It's like there's tons of stuff you could do, but it's like, yeah, well, once you do it, then you have to do it all the time, week in and week out. And it's like the last month to be like, so nothing has happened. Come back next week. But yeah, like it's fun to sit here and hang out with you guys on a Saturday morning and talk Destiny. Like it's so weird. It's been such a part of my life over the last decade. Like my wife looks at me and goes, how are you still playing this game? Like
how are you still talking about this game?
Right.
What is there to talk about every single week? I get the question at least once a month.
What could there possibly be? And it's like, oh, if there isn't something, we'll come up with something to talk about.
There is always something with Destiny. Even on the lulls, there's still stuff to talk about with Destiny. And, talking about not kind of doing too much, I did a stream this week. I expected Noble to show up. And all I got was a little snarky message in my chat going, well, you could have invited me. Like, you said you weren't going to be on. And I thought, I'll do a bit of a stream and play some Renegade stuff. Because I wanted to get my Hunter through the campaign, which I did. And then I wanted to get some of the gear, because I was telling you guys, and I think I'd put it in the show notes a couple of weeks ago, or it might have been about a month ago, about the build that Cammy Cakes put out that had the last word, or it was the last word hand cannon, or the Ace of Spades. And he'd done a build on Prismatic with the Bombardiers and that new set from the Renegade stuff that we were talking about last week, the Shrewd Survivor stuff. So I wanted to get higher tiered Shrewd Survivor stuff. So I was having to kind of go off and do the Renegade stuff. So I thought, I'll stream that. And then once I've kind of got the pieces that I need, I can then go off and play a bit of Crucible, because that's what I want it for, to see how it fares. I think I did quite well. I managed to do, after the streaming that, and the next day I think I played a bit more and got the pieces that I needed for my Shrewd Survivor set for my Hunter. So I'd kind of got these pieces and watched the build over and over again. And I'd, again, like Cammy was doing, kind of flip-flopping between having the Lucky Pants or having the Bombardiers. So the Lucky Pants I'd put on Solar so that I could get some of the hand cannon like synergies with being like
Golden Gun, or just the dodging and
no, when you dodge and you can do that gold ring around you, and I can't remember what it's called. Because the hunters have that ability where they dodge and they can do like empower themselves with solar weapons and things like that. So like Cammy was using, I found my old BXR Battler, and I was using that with the last word, and I was doing really well. So I took it into my placement matches of doing comp and finished all of those. I think I had like 6 to do. I think I'd done 1 on the Titan, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna finish these on my Hunter and try out this build, because there's not too much pressure in the placement matches, and then we'll see how it kind of goes from there. And I played 1 more after the placement matches, but I got placed in gold 3 from just doing that on my Hunter, and I'm not a hunter. And I was like, well chuffed with myself. I was like, that's amazing. I've never got straight into gold 3. It's always placed me in like silver. I think one time it put me, it was like a hair away from gold in the placement, and then I played a game and then got into the gold. But it's like it put me straight into gold 3, and I thought, I'm that good. And then I took it the same build into the comp again, played a game, and like grazed through with the win. I was like, okay, now that's scary. I'm not going to be playing Hunter in here for a bit. I'm going to go off and practice in other areas, because I don't want to lose that rank now.
Were you talking about radiance by any chance then, where you can make yourself radiant?
That's the word, radiant.
I was telling you, and then I looked down and I realised that my wife brought me a drink in a minute ago, and I muted
you
my
muted
microphone while she was in here, and I was like, "Radiant, mate. You talk about radiance, demon. You talk about radiance, mate. Demon, it's radiance that you're looking for." And then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
The listener experience live on the show, screaming at the podcast, going, "Why can't they hear me?"
He's ignoring me again. He's always ignoring me. He doesn't invite me. Then he doesn't listen to me when I'm talking.
The other thing that I was trying to do was I've got like tons of armor of that Wild Anthem armor from kind of just buying it from Zavala or just kind of playing Crucible, and it kind of just drops in Crucible, mainly on my Titan. And I was like, what could I kind of do with this? Because I'd seen that people had kind of put builds together with Suros weapons, and I was like, well, it has that Suros harmony with reloading a weapon grants it bonus handling, reload speed, and flinch and for a short time, and weapons with the Suros synergy origin trait are granted increased range. And apparently that was working with the Suros regime as well. And I was like, let's put a build together so I can then clear out some of this vault, because I've got so much of it. So I kind of put this build together, and I went for full on in weapons, and I managed to get a 200 stat in weapons, and I wasn't really concerned about where all the other kind of things landed. But I think I do need to invest some into health, because it was like, yeah, I can have 200 in weapons, which gives me plus 5.0% extra in weapon damage. So that was pretty cool. But I wasn't kind of feeling it with the Suros weapons. I mean, I'd used like the Koronaccio 22 auto rifle. There was also, I pulled out the Hero's Burden submachine gun. I had the Fortuna 59 sidearm, and the Durham's Claw as well from I forgot what it's called now because it's never been around anymore. Oh, Iron Banner.
Banner?
The metal flag. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was like, I wasn't really feeling it. So I thought, sod it. I'm not going to go Suros anymore with like my main weapon. I'm going to go and put on the Sweet Business, and we are just going to put the Actium Warrig on, and we're just going to have fun. And yeah, once you've been away from the game for quite some time and they don't expect it, they get very frustrated. And when you're spinning that weapon up, people come for you, and it's really funny to peek. I know we say it every now and then, but it was just so much fun, and I kept thinking, I wish I had another Titan here, because it would just be so much fun to have two of us running around together, because they would just get so frustrated and leave. And I think a couple of people did leave on the opposite team, and I don't know whether it was to do with me just holding this down and just having good fun. But I put it on the Arc Titan, so sometimes I was sitting behind the barricade. So if they were standing too close to a friend, there was lightning and thunder, and yeah, it's just, and I would just sit on a point, like I'd go to B, because the B one was the one that everybody wanted at that point, and I was like, I'm going to defend this one. And I don't care if you kill me, because I'm just going to come back. I'm going to try again. And so yeah, that was great fun, because that works with the Suros stuff, the Wild Anthem stuff, because. Nice. Extra flinch and things. So I've now kind of mixed it around. I'm going for a bit more health as well as weapons. So yeah, I'm looking for a bit more. I think it's bulwark armor for that. So I managed to clear out my vault of most of it. I've now started collecting it again now to rebuild the set that I actually want.
Yeah, that's so much fun to run once or twice. And then people figure it out, and then they murder you immediately. But it is great fun. Yeah, when it's been long enough and no one really remembers it or expects it, or they just keep running out thinking they're going to do something. No. We have the bullets.
Yeah.
That's the same as using the insurmountable skull fort, though, isn't it? When people that just forget that that's a thing in PvP, I find, and then you start shoulder charging people, and that really gets to them as well.
Yeah. Or if you're patient enough to sit around corners and just hit them when they come by, oh, it's beautiful. I'm never that patient. I get one or two kills and then I get impatient with it and run off.
Yeah,
but it is really funny when you can pull it off correctly. I did play a couple. I've learned I just can't do a catch crash with blueberries. It just isn't going to work out. I played. I can't remember which evening it was. I got on one evening and I was like, listening to my audiobook, and I was like, let me just jump into some Catch Crash. I just want to do something, something sort of casual, big arena like with matchmaking. So I was like, let me just do a Catch Crash because I don't want to do the one where I jump around Callus's ship. I've been there so many times. I'm done. If I never contain another nightmare, I will be a very happy person. And the astral alignment, it's fine, but again, it feels like just too much running, not enough shooting. Catch Crash, I'm like, yeah, throw me in the middle of things. Let me go crazy with the warlock and abilities and just have a good time. Played 2.5 of them, did not get through a single one of them successfully as a team, either myself or anyone else. We did not succeed. But then this morning I couldn't sleep, got up early, and again I saw Coil was up. I was hoping for Onslaught or Coil. Coil was up in Pinnacle as a match made thing, and I saw there was a Swordmaster helm or Swordmaster cover dropping, and I was like, all right, that's a thing I could have. So ran 2 of those successfully with, again, match made with blueberries, ran through, had a good time with it, got a bunch of loot, got a couple duty balance to drop, which I keep forgetting that stuff drops. I keep forgetting, I don't think of the Coil as a Pinnacle activity, but it is in the Pinnacle list, so it can drop, those Pinnacle, old Nightfall weapons. So got a couple duty balance to drop, which was fun, which again, not my favorite gun, but it's nice to get something different. And then got a bunch of Swordmaster helmets, because why not? More Swordmaster gear. I can throw it on the Warlock because he's lacking because he hasn't done much dungeoning. And yeah, I've had a good time. And then I haven't touched Crucible this week. That's normally my go-to, but I just jumped on a little bit and just played Pinnacle and Arena stuff because I just want to play with other humans, even if I'm not talking to them, so I'm not trying to solo everything myself. I look at the solo list and I go, I don't know what's in there and I don't care. I'm not looking at it. It's not for me. It's none of my business.
I'll tell you what my greatest pleasure was this week, Peroty.
What's that?
When I was playing with Demon and Feral, I kept accidentally sneaking a best dressed at Feral. Just slipping one in there every now and again, just like a cheeky best dressed, like just hoping that he didn't notice. He didn't know, unless I sat there and I did it, and then we got out and I didn't get one back, and then I was like, just chuckling away at myself. He'd be like, "What are you chuckling at?" No, mate, no. For a little bit, the penny dropped, and then he was like, "You're giving me best dressed." Nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you. I'm not that sort of person. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey,
it's a shame that those things have kind of come to nothing as well, isn't it? We started off that they were built into the Guardian ranks, but then they took them out of the Guardian ranks, and now they're just there as a kind of thank you, in whatever you're kind of playing, but there's no kind of reward or consequence for those things.
There is. It is a reward. It is a reward annoying people by giving them best friend. That is a reward within itself.
Yeah, no, it was tied to different things, and it's just like now it's like, it's a thing you could do, but there's no real reason to. There's nothing there for you. Yeah, it is just sort of frustrating that all these mechanics and things have just come to nothing.
Yeah, they are a bit sad that they didn't amount to more realistically. They should have been so much better than they were.
Yeah,
they should have replaced like the clan thing. Like if you did activities with your clan, you used to get a reward, and then it used to be, didn't it? Like you had to give them out commendations. You had to give out in order to get a weekly reward from Hawthorne. That minimum, that one should have stayed.
Yeah. I mean, it's like everything else. It's like it's a good first version. It's like, okay, what's the next step of this? How are we going to improve or change or something this? And it's just, no, we're just not. We're just going to put it out there and say, here it is. Engage with it or don't. But it's going to be this now, and 8 years from now, it'll be exactly the same.
Yep. Well, we have some stuff to talk about this week. But before we jump into This Week in Destiny, I'm going to tell you what is happening next week with the rotations, because I have a guide on the Guardian games that is coming up next week, that if you listen to that, we can then talk about the stuff in the TWAB, and we don't have to talk all the stuff in the TWAB because I've covered it in the guide. So win-win situation for me and for you guys.
Yeah, that sounds like efficiency.
Totally. This is your weekly rundown for Destiny 2 Renegades, Week 17 starting on March 24th. Week 17 of Renegades sees Destiny 2 spring event Guardian Games make its triumphant return, running from March 24th to April 14th and is free to all players. This competitive event sees Hunters, Warlocks and Titans compete against each other for honour, gear and the bragging rights that come with being the winners of the Guardian Games. Last year brought Guardian Games Supremacy, Guardian Games Class vs Class Gambit and a new boss rush mode called Rushdown. In Rushdown, Guardians battled a series of bosses taken from Destiny 2's campaigns, seasonal story missions, and exotic missions. With each boss encounter defeated, combatants in the activities increased in difficulty, with a total of 5 encounters per run. You also had a time limit to complete the run, with time added for each successful encounter completion. Completing encounters in a run earned you your reward, with faster times offering a chance for more drops and higher quality loot. This year will also see the addition of a new version that completely randomises which bosses you'll face and order they appear in, guaranteeing to liven up things and keep you on your toes. The original version of Rushdown will have a new boss rotation for each day. Rushdown has 3 ways to play. A warm-up mode, which is the entry point for the activity, with standard and expert modes then ramping up the difficulty, offering more powerful combatants with modifiers and revive tokens. Each mode offers options for standard matchmaking, class-based matchmaking, and private fire teams. And you can increase your score by completing encounters quickly and earning bonus points for the extra time remaining. Limiting your use of revive tokens also increases your score, as you get bonuses for unused tokens. And completing at least 3 encounters in any mode guarantees a Guardian Games weapon drop for that run. Rushdown has 5 score thresholds: Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum and Diamond. And reaching higher thresholds in standard and expert modes improve your chances of additional perks on Guardian Games weapon drops for that run. High scores in expert mode also offer the chance to earn a fully masterwork Guardian Games weapon with additional perks. Guardian Games can be found over in the main portal tab, with its own event home, where it has its own playlist and exclusive reward pass. And playing the event and completing challenges progress your ranks, unlocking exclusive gear that will match the Dawning, Fest of the Lost and Solstice in terms of rewards, meaning you can expect a new shader, ship, emblem, ghost shield and guaranteed hollow weapons on the event rank track. Completing the daily and weekly event challenges also reward event tokens, which can be used in the Guardian Games reward shop, which has its own gear and rewards. To kick off the event, Guardians must first visit Eva Levante in the Tower Courtyard, where she will provide you with your medallion case and Guardian Games class item, which is needed for the competition as well as the quest to get you familiar with the event. Wearing a class item is how you will earn medallions and unlock quest progression, as well as challenges in the event home. The goal of the Guardian Games is simple: your class must win the majority of days during the 3-week-long event, and that can only be done by depositing a ton of medallions. With that, Eva Levante will have a great variety of contender cards to choose from, divided between Gold, Platinum and Diamond. The Diamond medallions awarded are worth a lot, and can change the course of the day so you're limited to 2 per week. All medallions Guardians bank in the tower will be counted daily, and the crest of the daily winning class will be inserted into the tower podium for everyone to keep track of their class standing. Additionally, for this Guardian Games, a new rare quality Vanguard order has been added focused on the event, which will provide 50 Bright Dust per completion before the 1000 Bright Dust weekly threshold, and 10 Bright Dust per completion thereafter. Players can only hold one at a time, and once completed, a rare Vanguard order will be replaced with another one until the Guardian Games event ends. Depending on your contribution to the Guardian Games, last year you could earn glows, and the bragging rights that come with them. One for being the best in Tower Guardian, another for being the member of the winning class of the day, a shoulder glow linked to your weekly performance in Rushdown, a second shoulder glow for your weekly performance in Supremacy and Gambit, and a bronze, silver or gold glow in the shape of a laurel crown. At the end of the event, the class that wins the most days will be crowned the winner, and their class item will change to gold until the next event, to remind everybody of their victory. The Guardian Games 2024 introduced Skimmers as a brand new exotic vehicle category for Destiny 2, with the All-Star Vector Skimmer again being available for everybody to earn during the Guardian Games event. Just pick it up from Eva Levante after completing the onboard mission quest, and if you want to keep it permanently after the event finishes, complete the drop-in quest and the All-Star Vector will be yours to keep forever. With Guardian Games return, previous armor ornament sets are available in the Eververse store, including another chance to grab last year's set based on gladiators. There will also be the new Cape Cobra, Pantheria Leo, and Crowned Eagle set for 2026, which will be available for 6,000 Bright Dust or 1,500 Silver from the Eververse store. This year we'll also see the new Stasis Aggressive Frame Hand Cannon Triple Laureate, and the new Solar Rapid Fire Frame Fusion Rifle the Beacon. The Arc Adaptive Frame Trace Rifle Karunus will also return with an updated perk ball. These weapons come with the origin trait of Classy Contender, where final blows with this weapon grant improved class ability energy, and a small chance of getting the new Call to Arms Micro Missile Frame Grenade Launcher Gizmo Weft. All of these Guardian Games weapons will also be available with their new Holofor variant. Previous Guardian Games weapons like the Arc Compressed Waveframe Heavy Grenade Launcher Hullabaloo, the Strand Lightweight Frame Scout Rifle Traxopos, and the Void Aggressive Submachine Gun the title could possibly return this year. New in the Eververse this year will be the Mjolnir Strike Shader, Toot Your Own Horn Exotic Emote, and the Steel Wing Skimmer. The Galatory Endurance Shader, the Labyrinth Lurker Shader, the Phoenix Rising Shader, and the Vestment of Sithino Shader are a bundle of 4 shaders. Also earnable is the Guardian Games Memento, which will be available randomly when banking gold and platinum medals, and guaranteed when depositing a diamond. This memento can be put into your old crafted weapons to gain access to the sporting shader Champion Keepsake. Guardian Games also features a seal and title to unlock called Champ. Triumphs to complete are Champ, Going the Distance, Grand Slam, Record Setter, and Hall of Fame. Guardian Games runs from the reset on March 24th to the reset on April 14th. Over in the Portal Crucible Ops this week will be Competitive, Control, Guardian Games Supremacy, with Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Other unfeatured modes of 3v3 Dominion and 6v6 Momentum Control should be found over on the Crucible Director. In the solo ops we have Skywatch, the Salt Mines, the Conflux, Creation, K1 Logistics, and Caldera, with the new solo ops Typhoon Imperator. In the fighting ops we have one of the rotating reclaim missions, with this week being Conductor's Keep, Heist Battlegrounds Moon, and Defiant Battlegrounds EDZ, with the Sunless Cell Strike. Strikes added in week 2 of Renegades with the Birthplace of the Vial, Exodus Crash, Warden of Nothing, and the Arms Dealer. Also still in the fighting ops are the Battlegrounds Behemoth, Core, Oracle, Foothold, Delve and Conduit, Expedition Nessus, the Strikes of Liminality, Hypernet Current, Insight Terminus, Fallen Saber, the Devil's Lair, Proving Grounds, the Inverted Spire, and the Glassway, Empire Hunts the Warrior, Technocrat and Dark Priestess, and Savathun Spire Offensive. In the arena ops are Season of Plunders, Catch Crash, Season of Loss, Astral Alignment, and Season of the Haunted's Nightmare Containment. In the Pinnacle ops we have the 3 dungeon layers, Pit of Heresy Beneath the Necropolis, Duality Nightmare of Goron, and Warlord's Ruin Locus of the Wailing Grief, with Onslaught Midtown, Episode Revenant's Contest of Elders, and the Coil. New to the Pinnacle ops we have the exotic mission Vox Obscura, with the Dead Messenger exotic Waveframe Grenade Launcher as the main reward, and Episode Heresy's Dear Allies mission, for the Baradide exotic submachine gun. Returning exotic missions include Heliostat, with Wolfsbane exotic axe as the main reward, Presage, with the Dead Man's Tale exotic scout rifle being the main reward, Node Override Avalon, with the Excalibur exotic glaive being the main reward, Starcrossed, with the Witchkeeper exotic bow being the main reward, the Whisper, with the Whisper of the Worm exotic sniper being the main reward, Kel's Fall, with the Slayer's Fang exotic shotgun being the main reward, and Encore, with the Choir of One auto rifle being the main reward. Also in the portal is the new Vanguard Alerts tab, found in the Seasonal Hub, which consists of weekly challenges in Vanguard, Arena, Crucible, and Grandmaster Alerts. Over on the Lawless Frontier, the contested territory will start this week's rotation with Europa, and the Fire and Ice exotic mission will be Void Threat. On Kepler, featured mission 1 this week will be the Invitation, and featured mission 2 will be Gouge. For our Legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Strand, and has the Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Blind One features Scorn enemies and the Plagues, Sigrus and Veracus. The Ascendant challenge will be the Agonon's Abyss over in the Baildred Wishes Lost sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian is located in Archer's Line, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Jax, Claws of Zevra Wrath at the Hellmouth. Nightmare hunts Skolus, Pride, Omnigul, Anguish, and Zydron Servitude. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Tanix and the Apostate Sniper. On Europa this week, Corridis the Dark Priestess will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide Runes will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo challenge will be Survival. Days of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Kabul, Taken, and Crota. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Wild Hunt armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with Weapon Set 1. Arsenic Bite 4B, Blasper 2, Corsair's Wrath, Deafening Whisper, Dire Promise, Enigma's Draw, Escape Velocity, Giant 7 Rifle, Friction Fire, Royal Chase, True Prophecy, and Timeline's Vertex. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is The Cunning, Altar of Reflections Catalyst, and Altar of Reflections Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on Defense, with Void Sniper, Father Sin, and Zurich, Scorn Raider as the boss. The Lightful Weekly mission is First Contact, the Partition mission will be Backdoor, and the Vex Incursion will be Zephyr Concourse. In the Pale Heart is the exotic class item mission Dual Destiny, and the 12 Guardian Match-Made Excision mission, with a Grandmaster version guaranteeing you the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Lost Sector rotation for this week will start with Vel's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City, Scavengers Den on the EDZ, Concealed Void on Europa, K1 Revelations on the Moon, Thrillerdrome on Neptune, the Conflux on Nessus, Metamorphosis on the Throne World, and the Broken Deep in the Pale Heart. All Legacy raids and challenges are now available all the time, And at present, there are also no featured raids or dungeons each week, but you can find past raids and dungeons for their respective exotic weapons, with no weekly lockouts. Over on Kepler, we have the Desert Perpetual raid and Desert Perpetual Epic raid, with both versions dropping tier +3 loot, with the chance for the exotic rocket launcher Whirling Ovation to drop. Over on Venus, the new dungeon Equilibrium has the chance for the exotic combat bow heirloom and the dark matter crystal for the Praxic blade to drop. The exotic mission rotator will be Operation Ceres Shield, with the Revision Zero exotic pulse rifle being the main reward, the Season of the Ceres weapon set, and Ikelos weapon set, with the Warmind's Avatar armor set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. And that's it for the 17th week of Renegades.
Right. Oh, there we go. Now we'll take bets on whether what he said is correct or not.
Well, most of it. Yeah. I mean, this week in Destiny for the 19th of March goes over the Guardian Games and Postcards from the Frontier and the new Magic the Gathering collaboration. So let's just dive into the Guardian Games stuff. I mean, most of it I covered in the guide, if you listen to that, and we'll go over the armors and the stuff that's kind of coming, the weapons and that. Things that they don't mention in the TWAB, which, again, we've said week after week, it would be nice if we got a bit more of an explanation. What would it take? Somebody 5 minutes to just go, right, this is what you are getting with the Guardian Games. Yes, they've updated the Rushdown. That's good that we got confirmation that Rushdown is still going to be available and it's still going to be there. But the thing like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, is Gambit going to be there? Is the class versus class Gambit going to be included either in the portal or in the world map? And is it going to form part of the Guardian Games? Now, I kind of briefly went over that in the guide, that it was something that we had last year, and the same with Supremacy. They don't mention either one of those things. Guardian Games is back, but in what kind of form is Guardian Games back? Because it would be nice, if you're new to Destiny, there was this game mode called Gambit that we had a long time ago. It's quite hard to find. It's still in the game. You have to go and search for it. It's if you come out of the portal and go on the world map, there are kind of these like other nodes and planets. There's like these legend tabs, and it's a legendary game mode. It was a pillar of Destiny 2. And you can still find it. It's still there. Peroty plays it sometimes and does talk about it. But it's been away from kind of the portal version of it for quite some time. And I thought that this might be the perfect time to introduce it in a kind of small way into the portal. I mean, it still could be for the Guardian Games. It's just that they don't mention it in the TWAB. And it would be nice to have more information.
You're talking about bringing Gambit back?
Well, I'm talking about like Gambit.
Information
for Guardian Games, it would have been it would have just been a nice kind of hint that they are still thinking about it and it's still there and it is still relevant to the Guardian Games, because it was last year and I think the year before we had the class versus class.
But are we getting Gambit back in some way? Because if the simplest answer to your question is we get Gambit back in some way, shape or form, my simplest answer is yes. Please give me it.
Yeah,
I want it.
No, I get that. I get that, but it's like in previous years, there's been a lot more deep dive in the TWABs, and like even if it wasn't in the TWAB, they had a guide on it that you could they go, oh, we've done a guide for it. This is what this event is and what's going to be included in this event. Looking through the Bungie, like they've got press kits and things like that. So every time an event comes up, they normally kind of put out stuff for the press kit. There's nothing. None of these pictures that they've got in the TWAB are in a press kit at the moment for Guardian Games. And normally when they have that, they have some sneak peeks at kind of what's going to be around. So, yeah, I mean, Supremacy is normally the thing that's going to be there for like 3 weeks that people can play. And the same with the Gambit. It's like, I know I'm harping on about this, but it's just like really frustrating not to know about the event, but know a little bit about the event.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to say, okay, well, we've got this Rushdown activity coming.
Information.
Yeah. So okay, so I play Rushdown. It rotates every day. So I play Rushdown once, twice, 3 times a day, and get whatever I get from it. Okay, I've done Rushdown. I've gotten my platinum. can I repeatedly do Rushdown and get the platinum medals? Or is it just one a day? Like, how many times can I do Rushdown and have it be worthwhile for the Guardian games? What else is there to do? I mean, other than that, it's like, okay, you come and you do Rushdown, you've done that 5 or 6 times, and you're like, okay, I'm kind of done with this 3-week event. That's all there is, because if everything else is going to be exactly the same, what else is there to bring people back or even to motivate you to log in? Okay, I've done this. Now what? What more is there? There's, bragging rights isn't even a thing at this point. I mean, does anybody care who wins Guardian games? Has anyone cared for a long time? Especially if there's no class, not even a class versus class activity.
Yeah, I mean, how does Rushdown work? I mean, I can only go like I did in the guide on what happened last year and how you earned rewards and how you earned time was a factor, revives were a factor, and there were different kind of playlists. There was like the warm-up mode that you had to kind of get into it, and then they had the normal and expert, and now we're kind of mixing it up a little bit more with different things that they're actually adding into the game. Just a brief overview of how Rushdown works, because not everybody that played it last year is going to be here this year, and new players would like to know that information. Bungie, it's like it doesn't make any sense.
To be honest with you, they said they announced Rushdown Remix, and I was like, I honestly, my first thought was, is that the thing we got alongside Onslaught? Oh no, that was Pantheon. Yeah. I could not remember, and honestly still can't really remember if I've ever played Rushdown. Like, I'm sure I have as part of the activity, but I simply do not remember anything about it.
It worked very similar to kind of the Pantheon. So you would go in, you'd fight a boss, and then it would transport you to another boss, you'd fight another boss, and they were taken from like campaign missions, story missions, exotic missions, just and stuff that you kind of played over the seasons that you gone, oh my god, I haven't seen that boss for like years. They would just kind of plonk them in there, and they haven't kind of gone over what bosses are going to be available, if it's just going to be the same bosses that we had last year, or there's going to be new bosses. And the same with how the kind of the Guardian Games event works, picking up contender cards, how they work, and what all the different standings of the gold, platinum and diamond, and how to choose between them. And last couple of years the diamond medallions are worth like quite a lot when you do bank them, so you're only limited to a couple of weeks. And for the 3-week event you can pick up like the 2 different diamonds, but you have to be very selective with what you're going to kind of pick. Information like that is very valuable to kind of get people interested in coming back. They haven't even gone over the weapons as such. They've gone, here's a picture of 3 weapons, that's what's going to be available. It's like, yeah, I mean, they've added Bright Dust, which is pretty good. You can have more Bright Dust. Normally we get a kind of a full list of, here is everything that's kind of going in the Eververse, here is everything that's going to be available for like on your reward track, that is now kind of, because it's now part of the portal, it's kind of got its own reward track and reward shop and all of that kind of stuff. Nothing. And Bungie it really frustrates me, because a lot of people try and make guides and things to kind of get people hyped for this event that's happening. But when you give us limited amount of information, we can only go on the previous year. And I've learned from making other guides that sometimes you do just kind of change things up and just don't tell people. And that's not really helpful when you're kind of trying to get people interested in doing a thing. And I'm kind of just, I'm just kind of ranting at this point, but it's just really frustrating to try and get players interested in the game and you're not giving us all the information, because it would be lovely if we had some of that information that people go, oh, this is really interesting. Because normally they build it up to like, it's hunters versus warlocks versus titans, and there's so much at stake. You're going to be fighting over this and this, and sometimes there's waiting involved depending on how many people are playing on whichever character. And in previous years it had that had quite a bearing on the outcome at the end of the event, because it depended on who was weighted for specific days or those weeks that the medals were then kind of put into the tower podium. And it's,
will there be enough hunters playing that it's worth weighting it in favor of the other 2 classes, because there's so many hunters? Have all the hunters left? have all the anybody left? Yeah, it would
But
be
normally
nice
they
to-
tell us about things like that.
right. It would just, I mean, because this goes live on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So basically tomorrow, as you're hearing this, and 3 days from now, as we're recording this, and it's like, are you going to drop a little trailer the day of? Are you going to? Are we getting? I assume we're getting a patch and to put it into the game along with whatever. But yeah, it would just be nice to have a little information, because I know there's you don't have an army of content creators waiting with bated breath to figure this all out and make guides for people. Is anyone even going to know what's happening?
And the most important thing I'll reiterate, because I did put it in the video, and it was only because I'd kept the video elements that I did from last year's kind of guide, that I kind of copied it and put it into this one to kind of remix it. That it's very important that you keep your class item on. If you are participating in the event, make sure that class item is attached to your hip or your shoulder or your head, because that is what kind of generates all the kind of stuff for the Guardian Games event. And be very careful if you have a build and you swap to that build and that class item isn't on that build, it affects your build. And I don't know how that's going to work with builds, because when we had, what was it that we had to have, was it the helmets, wasn't it, for Festival of the Lost?
Festival of the Lost, yeah.
They came with the perk that would be able to be, it would copy whatever armor set that you had on, and that way you didn't lose the armor perks that you had if you had a full set of, say, the Iron Banner gear or the Solstice gear. You'd be able to, there was a drop down node that said, I've got this armor set on, I want that to be that, so that you could then recreate what armor set you had on. Are the class items that she gives you this year, did they do the same thing? Is that something that's going forward that would be nice to have that information now? Just saying, Bungie. So yeah, be very careful, keep that class item on. I don't know if it's going to be selectable to kind of put on your builds, but here's hoping anyway. It's just, I mean, the Eververse armor does look nice, very, very cool, very on brand for each class. Lions, snakes, and hawks.
Yeah, and as much as I want the lions to look amazing, I just don't love lions that much. But yeah, I mean the armor looks amazing. It almost makes me want to play a hunter with that snake and the hood of like the cobra. I don't know what parts of the cobra neck.
The king cobra. Yeah,
that would be a pretty bird and a fancy tiger or a fancy lion at the very least. Maybe I'll just have a tiger instead. There we go. Fixed it. But yeah, like the armor looks great. It just, what am I going to spend the next 3 weeks doing? Is it rushed down and then the same activities we've been playing for months? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, just some level of detail would have been nice. Other than, hey, Rushdown Remix. Okay, a thing you don't remember is going to be different. Cool.
Well, I mean, they do name the weapons that we're getting, and the Karunus, which was the trace rifle. It was adaptive frame trace rifle that we had last year, which was new. So it's brought back this year as like a remixed version. So it still has the origin trait of Classic Contender, but it comes with, in the third column, Shoot to Loot, we have Rewind Rounds, we have Supercharged Magazine, we have Overflow, we have Rapid Hit, Trickle Charge, and Fourth Time's a Charm. And in the fourth column, we have Killing Tally, Detonator Beam, Jolting Feedback, Chain Reaction, Target Lock, Butterfly, and Rolling Storm. And it also comes with a Hollow 4 variant. So that will be on your reward track, and then just maybe randomly you'll get one to drop in activities and things. Also, the shoulder glows and things that we had last year, again, not entirely sure if they're coming back, but they kind of correlated to the different podiums that you could kind of get each week, and you could, because it resets each week, if you got the shoulder glow, the maxed out shoulder glow for your garden in each event, then you could get, there was two kind of podiums, weren't there, that kind of went up the side of the main podium with the flags on it that you could get rewards for, and those rewards would drop kind of double and triple perk weapons as you got to the kind of I think there was about 4 stages. I think it's with there's bronze, silver, gold, and then the platinum one at the end. And you got kind of enhancement materials and golf balls and things as well for kind of participating in getting the high scores in those. So that might be a way to get some of the holofoil variants as well. So if you do it each week for the 3 weeks and get your best in scores for those, you might get a holofoil variant that you really love. And then we have the 2 new weapons. So we've got the Beacon, which is the rapid fire frame fusion rifle. And this is going to be solar. This comes with Lead from Gold, Envious Arsenal, Rewind Rounds, Collective Pugilism, Demolitionist, Overflow, and Lone Wolf. Comes with Deconstruct, Successful Warm-Up, Burning Ambition, Reservoir Burst, Controlled Burst, Closing Time, and Bait and Switch. So that's the Solar Beacon fusion rifle. And then we have the Triple Laureate, which is your stasis hand cannon. And that is aggressive frame. So high damage, high recoil, optimized for long distance shooting. This comes with Slide Shot, Feeding Frenzy, Subsistence, Grave Robber, Ambitious Assassin, Rangefinder, Crystallized Corpse Bloom, with Master of Arms in the 4th column, Trench Barrel, Opening Shot, Chaos Reshaped, 1-2 Punch, Kill Clip, and Pugilist. Again, that one comes with the Classy Contender, and it also comes with the Huckay Breach Armaments perk as well. So got a couple to choose from for that. Interested in any of these weapons?
I've not a clue yet. Literally not a clue as of yet.
The spread shot hand cannon I'm interested in, partially because I need hand cannons for anti-barrier, and partially because the other spread shots have been sort of fun as close range, hard hitting things.
No, it's aggressive frame.
The hand cannon?
Yeah.
It's just Triple Laureate?
Yeah.
So it's not a stasis spread shot hand cannon?
It says on light.gg it's an aggressive frame.
Well, it's either the TWAB says a spread shot, so I'm less interested if it's the game version versus the TWAB version. I heard you say that, and I was like, oh, maybe he just misspoke or misread. Okay,
No.
So potentially interested in the hand cannon, partially just because I dumped a lot of them, and now with the anti-barrier being hand cannon, I kind of need a couple. Fusion rifles and trace rifles have never really been terribly interesting to me. I need to just get over my dislike of trace rifles. I don't know. I just have a bias against them. I don't know what it is. There's nothing wrong with them. It's me, not them. But yeah, I mean, I'm always interested to play with the new stuff. But yeah, the hand cannon's kind of interesting. But yeah, there's none of these. I don't look at either of those 3 and go, oh man, I'm really excited to go get a whole bunch of those.
Yeah. I mean, they could bring back some of the older weapons, but from what we've had with previous events, those weapons are kind of, you can still use them, and if they've got the Classy Contender perk on them, you can still use them, like the Title submachine gun, Traxxer Post, Scout Rifle, and the Hullabaloo, which was the heavy grenade launcher. If you've got them, you've got them, but I'm not sure if they're coming back because, again, they haven't detailed those, and Light.gg has only got some of the information because it's all kind of, I think it's all just waiting for the patch coming on Tuesday. So any of the Eververse stuff, any of the stuff that's going to be on the reward track isn't viewable on Light.gg. But hey ho, that's what's going to be available because I haven't seen any content creators make a video on them and go, this is what you should be looking for. There might be the first week, so that's something to look forward to.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
So I was just looking again, dipping a toe into Reddit real quickly just to see if anybody had caught, since I didn't see any response from Bungie about the hand cannon mismatch, and I saw someone link to godroll.tv as a weapon database.
Okay.
Which is a new one to me. So godroll.tv, the Destiny 2 weapon database. I wonder if that's risen from the ashes of D2 Foundry, if someone's either taken one over, or if it was just one that was out there that, there's, unless you see the right, Reddit comment, you'll never run across. But apparently that's another, Godroll, how it compares to like.gg and D2 Foundry, couldn't tell you, but at least it's another option that exists in the world. So yeah. So at least we'll see if it continues, but yeah, new to me.
And then we got some postcards from the Frontier. So this is the 2-week event for making postcards based on Destiny. That they said we don't want elements of. They said last week in the
can't
TWAB,
use elements of another IP or another thing, and yet
the first one. I know it's in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right, really. It's in the game, so why can't they use it? Why put that in there?
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen very similar of like a design, Star Wars design for that, like Welcome to Tharsis Outpost.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean that's feels like very classic Star Wars.
Yeah, I've seen some of these kind of very basic posters that you can get on what are those metal posters you can get?
Yep. I know exactly what you mean, but can't think of the company that makes them that they promote periodically. But yeah, the metal poster company. Yeah. Those guys.
But yeah, those kind of very basic, this is Star Wars, and it's just kind of a you know what I mean when you see them. It still looks very Star Warsy, but hey ho.
Yeah, which I mean, very cool. Like, I like it a lot.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're not taking anything away from the artist, but yeah, it's just like, so you made a big deal about not using other IP. It's like, well, this is, I mean, I guess technically not, but like, isn't the hunter in this, wearing the Star Wars gear? So it's just like, does this not count as IP from another thing, Bungie, or does it? Yeah, it's just a very confusing announcement.
I think it meant more so, wasn't it? Like, don't use something that they haven't had within the game. So, like, don't dress your hunter up as Spider-Man, because I've seen a couple of those recently.
Well, yeah, I mean, but if it's in the game, then why not? It's not like you're hacking Spider-Man into the game if he's there. I mean, how many builds have we shared and talked about of make your character look like Iron Man and whatever else? Yeah, just a confusing announcement all the way around. It's just confusing all around. It's like if you just said, hey, use every must be made in game with in game assets, or whatever, or if you can make it has to be all things in the game. You can't introduce new elements, new armor, hats, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, cool stuff, but yeah, just confusing.
Display.
So yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah, display. That's the one.
Yep. That's what we keep them around for, looking things up and remembering things.
Yeah, so there's some really cool kind of postcard ideas in there. So you've got another week if you want to do that and get the Art Deco emblem. So that was in the rules last week. So loosely follow the rules from last week because you've got until March 26th. There you go. You've got that to do. And then we have some class balanced sandbox changes coming. So with Guardian Games fast approaching, we want to make sure that Warlocks didn't decimate the competition with a notorious bugged build. So some of you know this as the John Chunk. But over the last few months, players could leverage a single handheld supernova paired with some weakening effects to delete bosses and enemies from the game with minimal effort. We hope you enjoy your final week with a handheld hypernova. Don't hesitate to send us clips of the ensuing madness. So here's a full list of the Sandbox specific bug fixes coming next Tuesday. And I feel that if it's bug fixes, that this is your territory, Peroty.
Probably is. It's we've got changes to the Warlock or the Healing Rift, the Empowering Rift. They fixed an issue where the Rift would sometimes fail to spawn when the Warlock was throttling towards certain objects. The Handheld Supernova. They fixed an issue where the Handheld Supernova and other void weakening effects where weaken could stack many times when applied to on the same frame. The Hypernova has ended, but John Chunk continues in our hearts. The Wanderer Tangles no longer deal less damage than base Tangles. In Weave Walk, players can no longer use melee to cancel the Weave Walk exit animation. You must Weave Walk at the proper pace Bungie would like you to. Hunters, you've ascended. With your ascension, you can now activate Lethal Current. Those are all words that probably sound good. On the Prowl, they fixed an issue where On the Prowl was not giving ability energy after reaching max stacks. So good job getting there. Hope you're hungry for nothing. Combination Blow can now be activated by Lethal Current. Well, there you go. Ascension, Lethal Current, Activation Blow, they can all be friends again. Titan Shiver Strike, if you want to be a drunken cold toddler. They fix an issue where the Shiver Strike could activate on dead targets. They still have probably not fixed the issue where Shiver Strike will just go wherever it wants, as it feels like it, because that's what it likes to do. Roaring Flames. Weapon-sourced ignition final blows now grant stacks of Roaring Flames. So yeah, kill things with ignition on your weapon, you get the flames to roar. The list of patch notes will go live alongside Destiny Update 9.5.6, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on March 24th. So presumably that means there's more patches coming and more things that we're not going to tell you about yet, but one day.
Maybe.
And now you want to know what's happening this weekend in Destiny? Trials of Osiris. It's up, but by the time you hear this, it'll basically be over. You'll either have gotten your Cataphract heavy grenade launcher on Burnout, or you haven't.
No, it's the Immortal this week.
Oh, it is the Immortal this week. I'm sorry. The Cataphract is next week.
Yes, they didn't put different. They didn't do different headings for each week. So the week after, it's Cataphract GLP on Burnout from March 27th to March 31st. So we've still got trials happening in Guardian Games. Good to know.
Apparently. So let's see. Let's read all the words this time. Hey, we have our heavy ammo surge currently going on, March 17th to 24th. It continues. Your power weapon will recharge ammo, and you can use this to your advantage to clear encounters with the most explosive way you can think of, or just throw on machine guns because you're going to blow yourself up otherwise. If you still need kills on your new seasonal machine gun, now's a great time to do it. And we have our Magic the Gathering crossover, which is a thing that I am aware of, but have not played since high school. So I'm sure some people have opinions. You can be very purple, very archy, or very solar, and there's ships and lots of things that I'm sure someone who knows more will be very excited about, or they'll never hear this because they stopped playing the game months ago. Hard to say what.
You say that because I was listening to the Tower Casuals this week, and one of the hosts on there completely fanboys out over Magic the Gathering and this Destiny crossover, going into great detail about this armor set and all the kind of shaders and the ship, the Sparrow, the Ghost Shell that you're kind of getting and how it kind of fits with Magic the Gathering. Great detail, and then kind of goes over maybe the possibility of Destiny 2 cards or Destiny cards coming to Magic the Gathering and what he'd like to see. It's a good half an hour's listen of just kind of Magic the Gatheringness and Destiny. So originally I thought I'll go away and I'll do a bit of research, because sometimes you like, give some people a bit of information about what this crossover is and what you're kind of getting. I don't have to. I can just point you in the direction of the Tower Casuals. It's on the side of a little bit more kind of naughtier language than our show, so don't listen to it with the kids in the car, because
noted.
Yes,
although my kids listen to me, so
yeah. Well, so if you want your kids to hear cursing in a different language or accent, here's your opportunity. If not,
yeah. All I can say, there's lots of excitement for this crossover.
Good, yeah. I mean, again, the armor sets look really nice. I just, don't have any context of do I want to have flaming things on my head as the Titan? Honestly, it looks like a pair of sunglasses. It looks like the Titan has like the big aviator sunglasses and just has put them on their forehead. That's all I can see, and I'm sure people are screaming sacrilege at me right now.
No, apparently they look very Magic the Gathering. Whatever they're kind of trying to represent in Destiny, it crosses over amazingly. Apparently,
yeah. I mean, I kind of dig it. Like, will my hands and helmet actually have flames on them? If so, I'm into it. The Hunter just looks like a very, very Marvel-y, very like Doctor Doom, just Marvel supervillain with the lightning hands and things. And then the Warlock is very purple with a nice little mask. The mask and the accent looks like the one Hunter exotic with like the veil on it. And is that okay? What is that ghost shell? Is that a ghost shell with tentacles and a big giant eye and like a poofy neck?
Yes,
like the armor from Crucible. I kind of dig the ghost shell.
Promised End exotic shell, a ghost shell inspired by otherworldly forms of I'm going to butcher that, Emrakul, bringing the eerie presence of the Eldrazi into Destiny. So yeah, what they don't actually kind of show you in here, you've got a shader bundle in there as well as the ship and the ghost and the Sparrow. But we've got finishers, There is an emote, a couple of emotes in there. So Ignite Your Spark exotic emote and the Soldering exotic emote. All kind of Magic the Gathering kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, looks great. Know nothing about it, but it looks great. So that's cool. Yeah.
Would have been nice to have one of those animated videos that sometimes they used to do, like, oh, this is what this looks like. This is, here's a clip of this, here's a clip of that. Because if these shaders are animated, or because you can't really tell at this point, it's only when you see them in game you go, oh my, that's amazing. Because
because like, I mean, having a flamey head and because now I see in the second one, like if I actually have like a right wristband with flames coming out of it and like a flamey, I'm gonna butcher it. Is it which Dragon Ball Z character with a giant hair? Is that Goku? Again, people are gonna scream at me.
No, I have no idea.
If I can have
I'm not gonna scream at you because I ain't got
if I can have a flamey mohawk, that's amazing. If not, then I'm less excited. But yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. But yeah, the first comment I saw was, do you think we'll get some Destiny Magic cards? Do you think there's a crossover going the other way? Because those would be fun to have. As someone who has a set of the Destiny playing cards that MacTex put out a while back with Destiny class and armor or subclasses on it, they're cool and I enjoy them and they're fun to have. I would love to. Again, I don't play Magic the Gathering, but if I could get a hold of Destiny Magic cards, that'd be a fun thing to collect.
I've never gathered the Magic either. I've never understood it.
No, I mean, Magic is all around us. It doesn't need to be gathered. It's just out there in the world. So yeah, I'm maybe most excited about that Ghost Shell though. I'm very curious. Yeah, and then we have lots of shaders. You can be all the different colors. Okay, they've chosen the Hunter to show off all the different shaders. The green, the red, the purple, blue, and all that. All I can see is the different Mortal Kombat characters.
Yep.
That's all I see in this because that's it didn't hit me. That's what it was. It was all the Mortal Kombats, and I now can't think of the guy's name, any of their names, because my brain is failing me this morning.
Oh, the like Sub-Zero and Scorpion and
yes. Yeah. I mean the blue one. Yeah. So if you want to be all of those guys in the game, there you go. You can have this Magic the Gathering set, and that Ghost Shell I need. That weird tentacle moat with an eye. I don't know what it is. That's amazing. I love it. The ship and the Sparrow are fine. The Sparrow looks very like it's got left in the throne world and now it has moss and grass growing all over it, and the ship just looks very, I don't know. To me, just a generic sci-fi thing. Again, I'm sure it's something proper, but I don't know what it is. Apparently it's let's see, the Flame Color Mind Sculptor and the Death's Majesty armor sets. But I don't know what again, we're the wrong group. Go listen to the Tower Casuals and they'll tell you all about the Magic the Gathering things. We're looking at these going, they're pretty. We don't know anything about them.
Can't believe you just called Sub-Zero and Scorpion the blue one and the orange one.
Listen, sometimes your brain works, and sometimes mid podcast you're going, the Mortal Kombat guys with the cape, and you just cannot, for the life of you, think of their names. We are not known for our eloquence on the mic here.
No,
we are not professional anythings. You know what we do know though. I've got a list.
Ooh,
I've got a list now. Place your bets now. There are 3 items on this list. Will they be new or will they be old? Let's see. Players can sometimes be soft-locked after the Zoeti lock set encounter in the Sunder Doctrine dungeon. When in orbit, the 7th sail ship's columns no longer rotate correctly. And in rare instances, players who are pulled forward into the Ep.373 mission in the Desert Perpetual Epic can get stuck on the black screen until the fire team wipes. So there you go. That's at least a 1 for 3, if not a 2 for 3. I feel like the lock set encounter thing we had before, but 7th sail ship's column, say that 3 times fast. No longer rotating correctly. There we go. That's our new known issue for the week. Big things we're tackling here at Bungie this week. Big exciting known issues. And then we have people in the Vault of Glass and someone who's done a fan-made trailer for the Warlord's Ruin. And that's it. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Sandbox changes to prep for the event? We're excited for players to delve into Guardian games coming up soon and start racking up those rewards. Join us for another TWID next week. Until next time. where they might or might not tell us things. It's hard to say.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm not even asked if there's news this week because I know full well there isn't any news this week. Have there been any videos this week that you want to tell people about?
I've got 2 videos this week that were submitted via Bluescreen, who sent me these. One from Esoteric this week, Xenophage versus the Solo GM Alert Warden of Nothing Strike. And you have to look, I mean, he just plays it. He's using the Xenophage with the heavy boost and the solar burn on there. But you have to look down in the comments because he goes into like a little bit more of a detail because he was like, he thought that the Xenophage would do really well, especially both with the heavyweight and the solar surge. So he figured he'd kind of use them and make a video on it. But he said that it was terrible damage, over 10 shots for a single champion, and terrible ammo economy as well. So he's got a cool video kind of going over the latest event and saying basically it sucks, I guess. Well, in so many words, because he doesn't really speak, so you have to look down in the comments. But he does go over his build and the run separately in this video. And then the build that I played with Blue this week when I was doing the streaming, the build that Blue was rocking this week was from Duddits or Duddits 2. Is the utterly busted, the best Warlock build in Renegades with the Black Talon and the Nothing Manacles, I believe it was the Nothing Manacles, yeah. And he's got a really cool guide on that for PvE activity. So again, with the Rushdown stuff coming up next week, that's a good one to kind of look at if you're going to be doing Warlock. I mean, Titans, just do what you want to kind of do on a Titan. And Hunters, there's...
Go play Marathon. That's fine. You don't need to be here. It's cool.
I'm sure it's time for the Warlocks to win anyway, the next one. I think the Titans have had 2, the Hunters have had 1, and the Warlocks have had 1. But, hey-ho, can't remember.
Yeah, that's okay. Can't remember, and no one will know anyway. And we'll just make the different colored animal statue a different color at the end of this one. And so yeah, so maybe we'll be Rushdowning, maybe we'll be Gambiting, maybe there will be something in Crucible, who knows. I'm really holding out hope we're going to see this patch on Tuesday and we're going to have something else added. Again, whether it's just they brought Gambit back or, you know, not even to the portal, but just you can play Gambit and have it count for modes. Like, can I do anything out of the portal for this? Does any of that even count? That's not even clear to me, but I'm holding out hope we'll get some clarity and maybe they've snuck in a little treat for us. Maybe. Holding on hope. Just breathe the copium. Breathe it in deeply. Breathe the copium. As we also thank our patrons, our lovely patrons who have gone to patreon.com/TTH and said, you know what? You guys are here each and every week. And you know who went there this week? Hawkstaff97. He said, I want to join the Honor Dance Troupe. You don't have nearly enough dancers, so I'm gonna throw my lot in with the dancers. We're going to dance. And why do they dance? Because of our grenade throwers. Bacon Cheeseburger, Golden God 1562, Noble, the Man Conan from Texas, and Feral. Our amazing grenade throwers. They throw grenades, our dancers dance, and then the man who can't be threatened with a good time, Renard Calant. He's there not to be threatened and to collect cats. At this point, we really should just rename that the Cat Collector tier. Because, I mean, really, that's what it is. He's holding it down. So yeah, thank you to all of our lovely patrons who have gone there and said, you know what? We appreciate you guys being here and just continuing to show up each and every week. Because let's be honest, you're paying Night Demons, you know, a little bit of time and effort, and at least paying him back for hosting. We're not here to get rich. We're not here to, you know, support ourselves off the show. We're here just, you know, make a couple bucks on what we're trying to do every time. So thank you for going there. Thank you for supporting us, and we are going to continue to be here until the heat death of the universe 2050, or they turn the servers off, whichever comes last. We'll find out. And until next week, thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Night Demon. Your other Titan is Noble. We don't have a Hunter.
Are we letting him be a Titan this week, are we?
Well, I mean, we're going to need him for Guardian games, so we need to get him back on our side. We can't badmouth him before the contest starts. He might decide to go play for another team. I mean, we need him on the winning side here.
I have just loaded my Warlock up, ready for Guardian games.
well, there we go. I mean, we did just say it is a Warlock's time to win. So as long as you're on our side, that's the important part. Whatever our side is the right side. That's how this works. You can find us playing something all next week. You can find this show wherever you get your podcast. Just search Two Titans and a Hunter. You can email the show, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can go to YouTube, watch the new 8-1 video, The Eververse Good, listen to this show in its entirety, and place your bets on did Nitedemon get next week in Destiny correct, or did Bungie go, we're just going to do something completely different just for fun. You can find this show and all the show notes, all the sites we talk about, links we link to TwoTitansAndAHunter.com. If you want to support us, you can join the Patreon, patreon.com/TTAH. If you want a more casual encounter, coffee.com/TwoTitansAndAHunter. And again, I keep telling you guys, twitch.tv/TwoTitansAndAHunter. There are streams. When do they happen? They happen when they happen. Go there, hit the bell, go to YouTube and subscribe. You'll find out, chat us up there. Noble really enjoys, good or bad, hearing all the things people have to say about him. So, go tell him things. He's always there, watching, waiting, listening, and reading. And until next week, tell the people goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Well, it's next week, 28th. Yeah, I'll be here next week.
Oh, good.
I'm here this week as well when I said I wouldn't be. So, might double surprise you.
You might.
Gotta keep them guessing. Never let them guess your next move.
Get them on the toes.